Welcome to Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. I am Adam, and across from me, across a time zone, is my good friend and human being co-host, Michael.
Oh, Adam, good to see you again. I'm glad you're letting everybody know I am not AI.
Well, listen, the joke is you always said I'm going to replace you with AI, and so not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Still here for another show.
Yes.
Who knows what the next one will bring, but I'm here now.
Oh, you're not replaceable. I mean, unless you start wearing a brim, then I'll start worrying about you. Then I think that maybe AI did steal you. So
No, won't be doing that.
All right, fair enough. So, anything new?
I don't think so. You're looking good in the Dolmac shirt there, sporting that today,
Yeah.
huh?
This was one of the rides that you and I did with our good friend Brian, and we headed from Lansing to Mackinac. First 2 days or day and a half, or maybe 2.5 days, was Bill's farm and George's farm, and
A lot of farms.
A lot of farms, and then Michigan Beauty. So it was amazing, actually. So.
Yeah, you said we're going up north. In the first 2 days, I was like, up north isn't any different than back home. But I will admit, after those 2 days, it got really beautiful.
I mean, let's be honest. I mean, every mile you pedaled, well, most miles that you pedaled, you were heading north. So
can't complain. Can't argue with that.
If this is the first show you've ever heard, and someone turned this on to you and you're like, what are they talking about? In Michigan, I only found out when I moved here in 1997, people from Michigan like to say they're going up north. And so when I first started here, I was working for UPS. I was working on the line. The packages were coming down, and two guys were like, yeah, we're going up north this weekend. And I'm like, up north? How far up north? And, you going a mile, 2 miles? Turns out, if you know where Mount Pleasant is, anything north of that is the unofficial, official up north. So, so
I've officially been up north. So
you have. This is true. I can concur. I have it on Strava. If it didn't happen, if it's not on Strava, it didn't happen. But I can prove that you were there. So,
I mean, I think they should be passing out cards or something once you get up north. But just to say, yeah, he's been there. Maybe stamp my passport or something.
If anyone is interested in doing the Dolmac ride, they've got a wonderful website. We'll drop that in the link below. My personal recommendation would be the 5-day West. They offer like a 2-day, 3-day, a 4-day. They offer East. They offer Central. You can do most Michigan you want, but only done it once, and I can only give you an advice on one time. But I'll tell you that the 5-day West route for me, going by Torch Lake, tunnel of trees, beautiful by Petoskey, up and around to Mackinac, and you end at the bridge. So beautiful route. So sad to see at your Chiefs rally that two guys decided that they needed to take something so neat and so positive for the city. And I just wanted to say I'm sorry for the loss of life and those who are injured, and only mentioned it because you and I talked about the Super Bowl and the betting before and everything, and so I'm really sorry to see that happen in your neck.
That's exceptionally sad. I mean, that shouldn't be happening anywhere, but you take this time when the whole city and the state of Missouri and the state of Kansas, everybody's like celebrating their team won, second time in a row, back to back, hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million people there. A lot of schools closed so kids could be there. And then, someone has to decide that they're having some dispute with somebody and can't handle it like adults, and winds up, wounding a whole lot of people. And it's just really, really sad, because you know what? Tomorrow in the news, it's not going to be this wonderful celebration and football team won it, second year in a row, creation of dynasty, all of that. It's going to be, tragedy, strikes, and all that. So it's sad.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. I mean, obviously, we don't just do the show together. We're obviously friends, and it came across somehow. It came, with my job, it came across breaking news, and I was like, "What?" And so, if you don't know, I work for local government, and normally the news is about the local traffic accidents and things going on in my area. And it said residents are being asked to return home so you can clear the area to be able to take care of the wounded. And I was like, what? And so I text you, and you at that time you hadn't seen it yet.
I hadn't, yeah.
So anyways, that's kind of a bummer, but I understand they caught the two gentlemen, and
that's what I understand. Like I said, I haven't been able to spend a lot of time following the story of what's going on, but apparently they have two people in custody. Unfortunately, there's been one death. And then there's still a couple people that are critically wounded. So sad day. And, thank you jack wagons who destroyed a really fun, good time for everybody.
So. Yeah, I mean, those who are injured, I will say my thoughts and prayers and hope that they
absolutely
recover. But I mean, think about the gentleman who passed away. I mean, he woke up this morning and he thought, I'm going to go celebrate the Chiefs here, my team. Or you would assume if he was there that he enjoys at least supporting the city or camaraderie, or maybe a spouse or maybe something. And he just goes for a celebration and some. Well, I won't say that.
Jack wagon.
Yeah, thank you, because we promised to keep the show clean. So. I'm sure you can fill in the blank. So anyways, I didn't try to bring the show down. I just wanted to say my thoughts for those injured, and sorry for the family, for everybody involved. So on a more positive note, on our last show, we decided to start a new segment that we plan on keeping up with every show, no matter if it's a Cycling Women of Leisure series show or a Cycling Men of Leisure show, that we would highlight some sort of city, area, region, something of people who are taking their, as you say, time, energy, and effort to listen to us. And we want to honor those areas, and we thought we'd name a few. You gave some hints to an area, and I'll let you re-say those hints if you don't mind.
Okay. That's a good question. What were those hints?
Well, one was that there was a cotton gin. Oh, sorry.
Had to find it in my note. I was like, oh, okay. I believe I said in the 1950s, there was a major lake construction project that was completed. And that lake still today plays a big part in the local recreation of that community and the local communities. It was not originally named its current name, but it was purchased by a gentleman after a couple of years, and he went and renamed the town after him. And it is the home of the county's first cotton gin. So what I've given you is there's a lake, a decent sized lake there, a town that changed its name. It was founded in the 1840s. I did tell you that as well. So pre-Civil War. And I talked about a cotton gin. So
it's got to be somewhere in Georgia.
You think?
Well, that would be my guess. I mean, you decided not to tell me, which is good because I want to play along.
Yeah, exactly.
That. So I'm going to say when we met with Franklin and did the route announcement, we found some towns that were mentioned the cotton gin. And so that's kind of where my mindset is going. So is it somewhere in Georgia?
It is not somewhere in Georgia.
Wah, 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 wah.
Now, you did pick up on the cotton gin, and I think I brought that up the last thing, that gives you some hints that it's not going to be too far north because they don't produce cotton in a lot of places. You're close.
Okay.
The town that I highlighted this week is Louisville, Texas.
Louisville, Texas.
Louisville, Texas. Yes. Located mostly in Denton County. Its population is 111,000. The town's local lake, which is called Lewis Lake.
Okay.
662 acres. Big recreational hub. It's a big recreational hub because they're not that far from Dallas. So a lot of people from Dallas come over. One thing I thought was interesting, since the 50s, they've had I think they call it a fishing pavilion, which sounds something like a dock and things, but they have indoor and outdoor fishing. So I don't know if part of it is enclosed. Sounded very, very interesting there. And they also have the Zion skate park. And that hosts the Zion Regional Amateur Tournament, which is a skateboarding tournament. And that's one of 6 tournaments that's held in the United States.
And I believe, thinking about it, that is close to Dallas. Is that a suburb or near Dallas?
Yeah, it's just outside of
Okay.
Dallas. Yep.
Well, cool. Well, to all those people listening from Louisville, Texas, thank you for listening. We appreciate you. And even if you're not from Louisville, Texas, we appreciate you as well. But cool to highlight an area. So at the end of the show, we are going to pick a new city.
I've got a good one for this next one.
You do?
Yes, sir.
All right.
You have to wait. You have to wait.
Fine, I'll wait. So since this is a cycling podcast, supposed to be cycling centric, we talk about other things once in a while here and there. I mean, your fine betting skills with Taylor Swift, that was great in the last show. So, but what you and I thought we would talk about is some bikes and bike brands. I mean, a lot of people listen to us probably are very passionate about their bike brand. I mean, I'm sure they all have Treks like me, and for all you Trek owners, great job. No, don't disconnect me. No, just
throwing the flag.
There's actually a lot of good bike companies out there. I mean,
and how many of those bike companies do you support? I'm going to venture to say, I've been in your garage many a time, and I'm going to venture to say, you've got at least 9 bicycles in your garage.
Yes.
At least 9.
Yes.
How many of those are some other brand other than Trek?
1.
And what brand is that?
A Schwinn, but it's an original Schwinn. It's an antique. It is my wife's grandmother's, the original Schwinn. So,
so it's not like a Schwinn Stingray or something like that. It's like more of a beach cruiser.
Yeah,
type.
It's like a beach cruiser.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's flashy purple, buddy. I mean,
can't go wrong.
But everything else is a Trek. It is.
I was just curious.
Yeah, there's
talking about how there's all these good bicycle brands and you just always buy Trek. That's okay.
Listen, when your good friends own a Trek store, you support your friends.
Enough said. Understood.
So, actually, I mean, if you want to go back a little bit in history, I have told the story before. It's been many, many moons since I told the story. I originally got into cycling as an adult for a weight loss activity. I was trying to be healthier and lose some weight, and I was doing all kinds of walking and jogging, and my neighbor said, "Oh, you ought to ride a bike." And I thought, a bike? I hadn't ridden a bike since high school. So speeding up the story, I decided it was time to buy a bike. And because friends owned the Trek store, I went down and bought a hybrid bike, and then I kind of outgrew that pretty fast. I wanted to go faster, and I wanted to do more road stuff. And so then that's kind of honestly how I fell into it, because I got a little bit of a discount. I mean, not major, but a little bit of a discount. Yeah. And also, again, supporting what I knew, and they had taken care of me the first time. Now every now and then I start going down Dreamland. I've looked at a canyon. I see some of those sometimes where I've thought, yeah, that'd be cool. And then my noble steed kicks in and says, "What are you thinking about, replacing me already? I'm not going out to the pasture." So, but one day I'm going to have no choice. So,
fair enough. I think I've got 6 in my garage, and I am proud to say I don't think any of them are the same brand.
That's cool.
I like to shake things up a little bit.
That's all right.
Yeah. So
you got a Huffy.
It's a darn fine Huffy too. Let's not make any judgment about that.
If I remember right, your mountain bike is a Trek, though.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
My wife has a Trek mountain bike.
Oh, that's the one I saw in the garage. I'm sorry.
I don't have the Schwinn, not quite as cool as you are, but I have the old Beach Cruiser Sears brand bicycle still hanging in my garage.
Okay.
And then my daughter's bike, I have no clue what brand that is. My mountain bike is a GT.
Oh, okay.
And
I
then
had a GT Performer when I was a kid.
And then I, of course, have my old road bike, the Le Mans.
Yes.
Yeah,
this is fun because we do big rides. I always look for one like it. So,
last year at Ragbri, we actually seen a Le Mans just like the one that I have. You don't see them very often.
Yeah.
Certainly not in that color scheme, but we did see it. And then, of course, I have my Bianchi. So I like to spread it out. I like to shake things up, I like to ride something different than everybody else is riding.
I'm just curious. I don't think I've ever asked you this. What made you? Okay, so I mean, I know what made you replace the bicycle. You were looking for something, newer and better technology, and probably easier shifting and easier to ride. What drew you to Bianchi? Because where I live, which I think is a pretty predominant area, I mean, I see Giant stores, I see Trek stores, Cannondale stores. I'm sure there's other I'm missing, and I'm sorry, but I just don't see a Bianchi store. What drew you to that?
I was looking at bicycles. I was going through like all the geeking out on all the geometry and all of this and all that. Found a couple different brands I really like the geometry on, and a couple of those I was able to find at bike shops. Tried them. They were okay. I found an older Bianchi that I was able to try. Really liked that, and they hadn't changed the geometry much. And so I was like, I like it. It's a comfortable ride. You can't beat the color. So I went ahead and purchased one of those. And yeah, there's no bike shop anywhere close to me that sells that. So I actually ordered it from California and had it shipped to me.
Oh, did you really? I didn't know that.
Yes, sir.
So did you have to put it together, or did you take it to a bike store the first time?
Oh, I took it to a bike store the first time.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not good at putting bikes together unless I'm in a hotel room and there's a ride tomorrow that I gotta get done.
And there may or may not have been foul language when you and I unpack those bikes and start putting them together.
Yes. So. And there was some cussing, and there was like, whose idea was this? And yeah.
I'm over there being quiet.
Yeah, it's all good. We're getting to be pros at it at this point. So
that's right.
Yeah, I like the color, I like the fit. Like I said, I'm not one of those people that like to be out there and like, hey, I just passed 12 people that are riding the same bike with the same color scheme as me. So.
Well, mine is nowhere near what I bought it. It's got different wheels, it's got different handlebars, it's got everything. Gooseneck. That's kind of been the fun part is to kind of customize it. So it's I go back and look, I find pictures of when I first bought it and what it looks like now. I'm like, wow, that's two different bikes. So
well, and it was a lot brighter paint color then too.
It was. And it's funny you say that is the last time we flew to Georgia, the Taiwanese sticker fell off. I love the sticker on there, by the way. It says designed in Wisconsin, made in Taiwan. And that sticker fell off. And when it fell off, the blue that was underneath there, I was like, wow, it used to be
shiny
so much
blue. Yeah.
Anyways,
there's a lot of bike brands out there, and there's way more bike brands than you really start thinking about, or you really even know about. I mean, what are the big four?
I'm going to cheat here. Giant, Trek, Specialized, and Cannondale.
Yep. Pretty much those are the four big ones out there. But there's just so many other ones that, you wouldn't believe. And it's a little interesting. A lot of these bikes, it's not like the old days. It's not like the old 40s and 50s with Schwinn. And I remember, this is how old I am. I remember, when I was really young, they had Captain Kangaroo on. They were reruns, but Captain Kangaroo. and they would show the commercials too. And they would always have like the Schwinn, the latest Schwinn bike, as you know. So I remember those. But back in those days, the bikes were made here in America, and they made one brand, and they made 3, 4, 5, 6 different styles. But that's just not the case anymore. You mentioned Cannondale, and Cannondale is actually is not its own freestanding company. It's actually owned by a company called Dorel Industries from Canada.
Okay.
And they make Cannondale GT. Funny enough, they own the Schwinn brand as well. Which, if it was still in business, would be the oldest U.S. Bike brand in the United States. But back in the 90s, in the 80s, they started making some bad decisions. In the 90s, they declared bankruptcy and then, got sold. But
yeah, I mean, I'm in my upper 40s, and when I was a kid, there was like Predator and GT Performer and all of those kinds of bikes, and then Diamondback, and then I would go to my local Dick's store and I said, "Oh, you guys have Diamondbacks?" And then the guy would tell me like, "Yeah, but Diamondback sold the name," and so there's a lot of changeover. I didn't realize how much changeover was in the manufacturing and industry, I guess. But it looks like here, according to my notes, that Bianchi is the oldest, with a long history in cycling, the oldest bike manufacturer still producing bikes.
1885 in Italy, started making bikes, still making them today.
I mean, there's no better way to have your own description here. Here's what it says: known for its classic design and high quality road bikes.
That's right.
It does not say that for Trek, by the way. It says an American company that produces a diverse range of bicycles, including road bikes, mountain bikes, and hybrid bikes. They're known for their innovative technologies and high-performance bikes. But
now, see, if you're just buying a bike off of that, where are you going? Off of that description, where are you going? Are you going to take the Trek description, or are you going to buy the Bianchi?
If you're going on that, I would buy myself a black Bianchi. I'm just kidding. I love it where it's some event and you're like, black. Why did they go with black? You can only get Bianchi in one color.
As far as I'm concerned, it should only come in one color. But Bianchi was interesting. Back in the 1880s, they are like one of the first companies that pioneered same-size tires, and also pneumatic rubber tires.
Really?
Because before that, you had a lot of the, high wheel type things and stuff like that, because they hadn't quite figured out gears and different stuff like that. So, yep, very innovative. Glad to see one of the teams brought back Bianchi last year to the Tour de France. The year before it had left, but a team picked it up last year, so it was good
really,
to see. Yeah.
Huh? I would have just assumed. I mean, being a European home, that it would be in the Tour de France. But
the problem with it is there's so many different bikes out there, and and right now you're looking at about 200 different bike brands in the United States.
Wow.
And I will tell you, if you look down through the list, most of those bike brands you've never heard of. A lot of them are building really customizable bikes. They don't have a very big share of the market, but I mean, they've got some loyal following where, I mean, they'll build out the bike to your specifications, that kind of thing. Some of the other, makers, Lightspeed. Have you ever heard of Lightspeed?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, they were a big road bike. I mean, they still make road bikes, but they were huge back in the 80s. Rock Lobster Cycles. I'd never heard of them before. I just like saying that name because that's kind of a cool name. But and then you got like Mosaic Cycles in Boulder, Colorado, which is big into mountain bikes. But there's like 200 of those that you really haven't heard of. Most of the big brands are being made overseas, like you said. Trek parts are made here. They ship them overseas and they put them together in Taiwan. that type of thing. So they're not really domestically based. But I got a question for you.
All right.
Do you know what the oldest bicycle maker in the United States is? That's still in operation? Because like I said, Schwinn would be it, but they bankrupt and dropped out.
I don't. I'm not being funny, but I was gonna guess like Huffy, but I'm sure that's no, I don't.
It is a company called Worksman Cycle in New York City.
New York.
What's that?
I said like pace picante sauce.
New York City. They've been making bikes and trikes since 1898.
Wow.
Yep. So, now go impress all your friends, coworkers.
What strangers. About Merida bikes? According to my resources, a Taiwanese company that produces a wide range of bicycles, including mountain bikes, road bikes, and hybrid bikes. They're one of the largest bicycle manufacturers globally.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about them.
Me neither.
I don't know what brands. Now, I know when I was doing research, one of the articles I came across talked about the three biggest producers of bicycles was Giant, the Accel Group, which is a Dutch conglomerate. They have like Raleigh bikes, Ghost bikes. Have you ever heard that?
I have heard. Yeah.
Some of those type of things. And then the Durrell Industries, which, like I said earlier, Cannondale GT.
Forgive my ignorance, but are Ghost bikes the ones that like fold up?
I don't believe so.
No, they're just
regular bikes. Yeah. I forget what the name of the company is. It's big into those fold up bike things, but maybe that's what I need. Save me from having to put my bike together in the hotel room. Yeah, just.
There was only once where you had some extra pieces.
Well, and like I've said before, they always put a couple of extras in there just in case. So we're fine.
Exactly. Except they probably did that the first time you got the bike, not when we're in a hotel in Georgia.
So after it's been put together 3 or 4 times, there probably shouldn't be. Is that what you're saying? A couple of extra pieces?
Yes. Okay. It is interesting to put that bike together. It's definitely different than mine, and so that one headpiece is always really weird.
Oh yeah, it's not fun
when it comes loose, and it's only come like loose twice. But figuring out how to tighten it, you think it would just be like an Allen wrench or something, but you got to get it just right, and makes me feel stupid when it happens. I'm like, how do you do this?
That's why I have it. Here, Adam, do this for me.
Yeah. Well, hey, you're the one riding it, brother. You are the one riding it. So if you want me to, I can do that. So,
there's a lot of bike brands out there that we never come across, but there's a lot of cycle makers out there.
Oh, I'm sure they passed me. So, all right. Well, cool. Well, not everybody has a Trek, but should. You have a Bianchi, and I'm just kidding.
Why don't you invest in Trek? That's what you should do. You're a stock market guy. Throw some money in there and invest in Trek.
Our good friend Joe does. He told me about it. So
wait, are they a U.S. company or are they a Taiwanese company?
I believe they're a U.S. company. I mean, they're in Wisconsin. They do all kinds of stuff there. They do,
but they don't put bikes together in Wisconsin. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they do. Just to be fair, if you get a Project One, if you get one of their high-end bikes, they build that there. But everything else gets
you get the high because they don't want to be like shipping those expensive pieces over there and
right. All right. Well, we've highlighted some of the brands. Santa Cruz was one that when I came across my searching. Cervelo, a Canadian manufacturer.
Yep.
Scott Sports,
Scott, yeah.
Obera. And a good friend of ours has one of those. He replaced it with a Trek, but he does still have it, I'm sure. So.
Oh yes, good old Armando. I'm sure he still has it.
I'm sure he has it as well. But okay, well that was cool. I bring some highlights to the bike brands. I'm going to take a second. I know we have another segment, but I'm going to take a second to plug our brag team. I know I did this last episode, but I'm going to do it again. For anyone looking to do a state-long ride, this year Big brag.org goes from Atlanta to Savannah. Part of Brag's marketing, which I think is genius, is teams and focusing on some teams. And if you get more than 10, you get a jersey. Well, we definitely have more than 10.
We're getting a jersey.
I was going to say we had 25 last year, and we're above that. So, and this year we have 7 ladies. Last year we had 2 ladies, and we had 2 different jerseys. We had cycling men of leisure and cycling women of leisure. This year we have 7 week-long ladies who are riding.
And both the ladies from last year are returning to the team. So
they are.
Awesome.
They are. Maybe we'll have to make them the ladies' captains. So
that would be awesome.
And so we can Annette and Mandy, if you're listening, maybe we should make you captain. So but there are 7 ladies who have decided to do week-long rides with us. Cool thing is Bragg will let me put the Cycling Women of Leisure logo on their jersey. But I thought it would be cool if we could get 3 ladies who have either haven't signed up, as you were so correct to point out last time, or have signed up and haven't chosen a team yet. Go in and edit your registration if you have signed up to pick Cycling Women of Leisure. You know you're getting the jersey. You know it's going to say Cycling Women of Leisure. You know there's going to be other ladies. And by the way, we always talk about joining the team. We should probably talk about what that really means. There's no obligation.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not like, you're joining the,
Team Sky.
Team Sky, you've got to have a strict diet and you're training this and you're doing
the diet equals
the term
peanut butter at every
team, air quotes, for us is merely a group of individuals. You go there, you don't have to ride together. If you want to ride, great. If you don't, you don't. We do like to try to get everybody together for a picture on like the day that we wear the jerseys. And it's just one of those things where we're all there, we meet each other, we want to hang together, great. If you don't, you don't. I mean, there was times last year where, we would do stuff in town and then a whole bunch of people would break off and go down and listen to the band or whatever. And we did whatever it is that we did. So, but there's no obligation other than you just want to hang out and have fun. And you don't even have to hang out with us if you don't want to.
No, I mean, I think we're pretty fun to hang out with, but at the same time, you don't have to. But, and one of the questions that I've received via email is, well, it looks like you and Michael are doing indoor camping. I'm doing outdoor camping. Can I still be on the team? Absolutely. Some people may do hotels. Some people may do outdoor camping. Some may do indoor camping. The reason, normally you and I do outdoor camping. The reason we do the indoor camping option is we're flying in and bringing the gear.
Less luggage
and less equipment. And so we're like, well, we know there's a spot somewhere for us to throw an air mattress and that's easier for us. So the answer is absolutely yes. I mean, so if you're looking to be on the team, great, please join us. Do you have to sleep next to us? Nope. Do you have to be in, if you're a person who does hotels, which amen. I plan on doing a hotel in the middle of the week.
Wednesday.
Absolutely. So but just making sure that everyone understands that there's no real obligation. I mean,
no.
Would love to get some photos. I mean, we'll use a hashtag for the week. If you hashtag your photos and people can share, we'll get some kind of texting thread going. But besides that, there's no
And
obligation.
I'm going to mention last year at the layover day, we got a bunch of the team together who wanted to participate in. They had a wine and chocolate tasting around the town, and we got a bunch of the people on the team wanted to do it, so we all got together and did that together. So it's just a chance to have fun, meet some new people, be part of the cycling men or women of leisure a nation, so to speak.
And normally from there, the friendship that you will get, I mean, look at the friendships that we've made with all the people that were, on last year. And then we've seen those people in multiple states after that. So, I mean, it's really a bonding thing. So I know sometimes people, get apprehensive over the word team. Like, are we going to have to do like drills ahead of time and everything?
Well, if you want to do drills, but I'm not leading anything.
No, I'm usually at the back of the pack, just hoping and praying I make it. So,
yeah, that was a beautiful thing. Is last year we did 3 rides.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because some of the people that we had on our team the year before in Georgia, we actually saw in Iowa, in Georgia again, and in Kentucky.
We did.
So it's cool. You start seeing these people and that type of thing. So,
it's like a cycling family. So
it is.
And there's always that
we
one
have our
person
quirks and our dysfunctionalities,
but there's always that one person in family you don't want to see. But lucky
yes,
for you,
Adam's gonna be there. I'm sorry.
As my father says, I suck the oxygen out of the room. So, but by that time, usually by the end of the day, I'm the guy who's ready to get something to eat, enjoy a bourbon somewhere, and possibly a cigar. So that's pretty much my mantra when we're out there. So,
absolutely. So come
join
us. Or if we announced we're going up to Michigan and doing Shoreline.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
You guys never been to Michigan, want to do the Michigan, come on up. We'll be up there as well. And we are potentially looking at another shorter ride. Haven't figured that out but some opportunities for you to come and ride.
Haven't nailed that down yet, but we're going to. So I'm excited. And then but before we go, I know you've got something pretty cool lined up. You found an article from the Travel Channel, and I thought it would be fun to highlight that article. Give the credit to the Travel Channel, obviously.
Absolutely.
But take it away.
I was doing some reading and some research, and Travel Channel in 2024, this year, came out with the top cycling cities in the U.S. And I was like, that sounds interesting. So I perused the article a little more, and it was interesting to see what their top cycling cities are. So they're not in any order. They're just, here are the top cities. I think there's 13 of them. Some of them came as a shock. Some of them did not. Portland, Oregon. I can see that.
I was going to say, not a shock.
Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, now that one's a little bit of a shock. I mean, I grew up in Illinois, and the reason why I say that is I know on Lakeshore Drive they have the trails up against the lake and everything. Besides that, you and I did the Illinois ride, but I guess I'm a little bit surprised. Is it just because of the city or Lakeshore?
I'm assuming it's got to do with commuters and the access that cyclists have to getting around.
Okay.
Central parts of Chicago and things of that nature. I mean, they do have, the nice trails out along the lake and stuff, but I'm making that assumption because then the next two on the list are New York City, and Washington, D.C.
Okay. So these must be commuter friendly, bike friendly areas, and that's cool.
Yeah. And it didn't give any other information much on that, but San Francisco, totally see that one.
Yeah, I could too.
Yeah. Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Wow. Ride to the Mall of America or what?
You know, Minneapolis, I've only been there a couple of times, but tends to be a very progressive city for the Midwest.
Okay.
Sometimes us people out in the Midwest are pretty conservative and, we're not super progressive on things and we're kind of behind the eight ball on a lot of stuff. But Minneapolis, from what I've seen, tends to be progressive. And I could see them really getting into promoting cycling, creating cycling culture, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Tucson, Arizona.
That one is not a surprise to me at all. We who live in this cold tundra, a lot of people like to go to Tucson to be active, whether it's hiking, biking. That makes total sense.
Except the 12 days in a row of 110 degrees, but
that's a dry heat. Don't worry about that.
That's right. You'll be okay. Just hydrate. You'll be fine. Austin, Texas.
Is that where 100 is, or near there? Or I know it's in Texas, but I don't know where it's at. No. I should have looked that up.
I don't know where it's at. I don't think
You keep talking. I'll find it.
Okay. I can see Austin again. Austin, you look at Austin, you look at Minneapolis, you look at San Francisco, you look at Portland. These are very, progressive type of cities. So I can see where cycling and, promoting the use of bicycles and things would be high on the list. Another one, Seattle, Washington, the same way. Now here's one that did surprise me: Missoula, Montana.
I guess
big sky country. Yeah, I mean, I've been to Missoula a couple of times. I don't know. Surprised me. San Diego doesn't surprise me. Here's one that will not surprise you either: Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh no, that makes total sense. I mean,
that trail system that we were on, the last day of Bourbon Country Burn, was just fantastic, and it kept going. I mean, they are very cycling centric and have that cycling culture. And then the last one on the list, and this comes as no surprise to me: Boulder, Colorado.
You've ridden out there, right?
Yeah, I lived in Denver for many years. And I've been out to Boulder. They've got lots of trails ridden in Boulder throughout the town and the city. They've got a lot of trails there because there's like a river that goes through town, and they got, trail system along that. And then they are literally right there, base of the mountains. So you can just keep going up into the mountains and hit trails there. So
Hotter Than Hell 100, Wichita Falls, Texas.
There you go. That's on the list, by the way.
Yes, it is. One of these days. And you've asked. We have been riding through different towns. You've seen the Jersey and said, "Oh, how was that?" You've asked about that a lot of times.
So that's what I have. Those are the top cycling cities in the U.S. And mine didn't make it. That's okay.
Brighton, Michigan didn't make it?
Nowhere in Michigan made it. Nowhere in Kansas made it. Nowhere in a 4-state area that I live in. Oh, actually, yeah, I guess 3-state area. Chicago's on there, Illinois. So,
our friend Chris is from the Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Area. We should ask him next time, how he feels about cycling in the area and stuff. So I wonder if it's because you can get on the Metro and take your bike on the train and then go out certain areas, and then probably, now that I think about that, there's probably lots of opportunities to ride your bike in multiple different areas in that area. So,
and that I think would be another thing, is having mass transit that supports bicycles, because I know there's a lot of cities that will have like the bike rack on the front.
Yeah,
but they have it there, but as far as using it is not convenient, and they don't really make it easy and this type of stuff. So
I'm hesitant to say this because I
knew you'd have a comment.
But my cousin Mark, who is a very avid listener to the show,
thank you, Mark.
Absolutely, he when the show will come out like at 4:00, and by like 4:45, he's texted me and he's like, "Oh, a great show! I love this, this, and this." But he unfortunately was on a city bus in the LA area, and on the front of his bus was his bicycle, and someone came up and stole the bicycle off the front of it. Unfortunately, I'm laughing, but
they just walked up and
got
it was at a stoplight or whatever.
Yep. And took it. And the driver had it all on camera, but I mean, just because you have it on camera doesn't mean anything. They got away so fast. So luckily he was able to, he has a few bikes, he was able to get another one. And so, but yeah, when you said that, all I could picture is this literally just happened. Now, when he told me the story, I looked outside and there was like 6 inches of snow on the ground by me. I'm like, I can't even think about riding a bicycle right now. But yes, I have been to areas where there's trains where they have, you can bring your bike on. You can't bring a bus on the train, but you can bring your bike on the train. And then, of course, where I work, we do have bike racks on the front of the buses. So,
I was really surprised Denver wasn't on that list. Denver's has a incredible bike trail system.
Okay.
I mean, you can literally get any place in town with enough time on bike trails. I live 2 blocks from a bike trail. I could get on a bike trail. I could go all the way down through Cherry Creek and into downtown Denver. And then I could go south all the way out there. I could go north. I mean, you could just go everywhere. So, but all right. I got one more thing.
Okay.
Time now to talk about a new town. Where are people listening from? Are you ready?
All right.
We already highlighted Louisville, Texas. Now we're going to highlight another town.
Okay.
Are you ready? Because I have not told Adam what this town is.
No, I mean, people probably think it's a show, and you've told me, and I promise
I ain't telling him.
No idea.
Created in 1834. It was, the settlers were drawn to the area because of 2 large springs. So that's what got people to come to that area. The current name is not its original name. There's a lot of that renaming towns. Its original name was named after something that this town produces.
Okay.
It was renamed afterwards in honor of a Revolutionary War hero. And this town has connections to Charles Lindbergh, Johnny Cash, and a child's ball game. That's all you get.
So if I have a guess right now, I mean, since I know this is a show, do you want me to hold my guess until the beginning of the next show?
Yeah, because you'll be wrong, and I'll be able to laugh at you now and then. So it'll be awesome.
I don't know. I think I got it.
You do?
I do.
Well, then
I'll text you behind the scenes.
Okay, do that. If you got this, I would be shocked. Totally shocked. But
a couple things you said resonated. So I will put my guesses behind the scenes. So
okay. I would be surprised if you were ever within 300 miles of this place, at least. I'm guessing. Okay. I mean, I don't know where all you've been. I know some of the places you've been. We'll see.
You know where I grew up.
I know where you grew up. I know where you spent the last, 15 years of your life?
Well, that was the prison system, but we're not going to talk about that.
We just affectionately call it the state of Illinois.
To be fair, since this is on YouTube and on our podcast, I have not been in prison for the last 15 years, but we do make a joke multiple times in public where we'll say something and then, the public is, people are listening, but it's like none of their business, and they start listening. I purposely will say, well, you know what? It was those years in prison you did. And I just love to watch people's eyes like, whoa.
Yeah, that one day these people, you could tell, were listening to our conversation. And it wasn't an exciting conversation, and they had no clue who we were. And you said that, and then I think I started saying, do you know what? That prison I really liked. Those rubber shoes they give you are like super comfortable. I said, I wish I could find some of those commercially out here in the real world. And boy, let me tell you, they were like,
they started scooping their children away from us.
Cindy, Johnny, time to go home. Get in the car.
Time to go. What was that ride? In Iowa last year, we rode by that prison. And I screamed. You were way ahead of me, but I screamed. I'm like, "Is that the prison you were in?"
We've ridden by a couple of prisons in Iowa.
True.
Because we also rode by one in.
Oh yeah, where
they had
the Gacy was.
Yes, and they had the big recreation, massive size recreation of American Gothic.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
In fact, you have a license plate that was actually pressed there.
I do. Mm-hmm. That was pretty neat. You got that for me. I got it package after Ragbri.
I got it for you. I didn't make it for you. I got it for you.
Well, yeah. To be clear, you ordered it, and the prisoner made it.
Yes. Yes. And it's got like Ragbri on it and all that, so it's kind of cool.
That was definitely a neat present. I appreciate that. So, okay. Well, to review. Intro, highlighted Louisville, Texas. Good. We talked about bike brands. We plugged the Bragg team. We're going to Shoreline in Michigan. We talked about the 13 cities to travel to ride your bicycle. You have now given hints, which I actually think I know.
Okay, I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, and that's all I got.
All right, well, that's all I have too. So.
Well,
as you don't know, I don't know what it's like up there, but today was a really great day for a bike ride here. 60 degrees.
There are some people who went out, but I did not. I work, but I did get on the treadmill today, so that's good. So I am back in the training mode and getting ready for our adventures. So
I sat right here in this trusty chair. For my day.
Well, my chair is in Cherokee, Wisconsin, and so that's a joke for another time. But and then I come home, and then I had a few.
Kudos to you. You're getting on the bike early, and I know I need to, and I keep telling myself, you got to get on the bike. You got to get on the bike, and you can't see it right now, but I'm working on a project in my office over here. And it's been sucking up a lot of time. It's going to look great when I get it done, but so it's torn up and I've got to get that done. But I will get on the bike.
Sounds good. So that way when we get to our friend, and I saw one of our friends from Bragg on our Strava page, he's like, "You boys better get some elevation." I don't think he's wrong. I think
no.
So Trip, thank you for the encouragement. We really appreciate it, my friend. And you're right. We need to get some elevation going.
Trip, so thank you for pointing out the fact that A, we're not getting a lot of miles, and B, none of those miles have any elevation. So thanks.
That's true. I mean, he's just being real.
So. I can appreciate that. I may not like it, but I can appreciate it.
That's right. Well, thank you very much, sir. Always good to be with you. Until next time, we will wish you the best, my friend.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.